fight till the night says die. FWE where battles define every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. FWE where battles define every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE. Oh, FWE with FWE. Oh, FWE with FWE. FWE where battles define every broken bone, all by design. Chained to the thrill, they let it be. This ain't a game, it's FWE.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode of FWE, as we are just a few short weeks away from the upcoming PLE, known as FWE Royal Brawl. I'm Seth Cole, alongside my broadcast colleague Jack Mitchell, but he's not sitting beside me currently. He's actually grabbed a microphone, and he has made his way into the ring, apparently something on the mind of the current Wayfinder Cruiser Champion. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
FWE Universe. It is an absolute honor and privilege to be standing here before you as your Wayfinder Cruiser Champion. The first thing I'd like to do is thank the FWE Commissioner for allowing me the time to do this, because it's been a bit crazy as of late. I didn't get a chance to do this earlier because there was no time. Everybody knows I had to beat Peter Pan and Harry Potter in that triple threat #1 contender match. Which was a hell of a match, by the way. Those guys are competitors. And then I beat another strong fighter in Cusco for the title right before the go-home show, and then he was quick to activate his rematch clause. So I had to defend the title at Infinity War Games, and I pulled it off. I haven't had a chance to slow things down until now. I'm not one to brag, nor am I one to look back in the past for too often. I like to keep my eyes forward, stay focused on the future, locked in on whatever's next. And I feel like I've been on such a hell of a run so far in my time here that it feels necessary that I take a moment or two to reflect on things a bit. See, when things first started off, it was easy to feel like I was getting a bit lost in the shuffle. There were so many people who were looking to make their mark in the same way that I was. I was lost. I was constantly entering these eliminator matches or battle royales or other things like that just to try to even have a chance at some hardware. And now this is the part where I address the elephant in the room. And by elephant, I mean large purple maniac named Thanos. The guy everyone's calling the Mad Titan or whatever he goes by nowadays. See, when this guy first showed up, he was constantly running his mouth, as he always does, about how he was going to terrorize and rule over FWE. And you constantly hear about that sort of thing all the time from these giant people who walk through the door and think they can do whatever they want, but everyone knows how powerful this guy is. Why the hell would anyone ever be willing to openly say that they wanted to take on Thanos of all people, one-on-one in the middle of this ring? I'll put it to you guys this way. No offense to anyone else here, but name me one other person in that locker room who jumped out of their seat, said that they'd do it. I was that crazy person who everyone called insane and said I was dead meat. And what happened? I walked out of that locker room, through Gorilla, walked down the ramp, stepped between the ropes, faced down that giant who was staring a hole through me, and I beat his ass. 17-9. We had 30 minutes one-on-one and he couldn't even get to double digits. On that night, I became a giant slayer. And yet, everybody still wants to know why. So I'll set the record straight. It wasn't just about winning, it was about proving a point. If I am not afraid of stepping into the ring with a giant, a mad titan like Thanos, if that guy of all people doesn't scare me, what the hell else will? I took on that match not only because this guy needed to be knocked down a peg, but if I'm the one who is able to take him down, then now I know what I'm really capable of. And now, so does everyone else. So, what's next? truth be told, I've always had the idea in mind that one day I would be a champion in FWE, but you know, there's just one thing that's better than being a champ, and that's being a double champ. So while I am here to celebrate, I'm here to talk to the FWE Commissioner about how I can make that happen. Now, Mr. Commissioner, I know you've got your hands full with the family and all their demands and all that. And I know that title opportunities always need to be earned. And I know I'll have to probably defend the title that I do hold along the way. But I need this. I was born to compete. And I'm ready to earn the opportunity for double championship glory. And I don't even care which one it is, whether it's the Tri-Wizard World Championship, the United States Championship, or heck, even the DC Intercontinental Championship. I don't care. So, Mr. Commissioner, just know that this is not a demand. This is just me asking you, what is the first step I can take to make that happen? I leave the ball in your court.
Victory whispers through the crowd. All the chaos in the Royal Brawl.
Is a no-holds-barred match, and is for the Women's Hardcore Championship.
We welcome you back here to FWE, getting ready for the first of a trio of championship matchups getting ready to take place here tonight. My broadcast colleague Jack Mitchell has rejoined me here at the commentary table, and Jack, some interesting points that you made there, and I've actually been told during this commercial break, the FW Commissioner has heard what you've said, and he will be addressing what you talked about at the start of next week's episode of FWE, the go-home show for Royal Brawl. So, man, some interesting goals that have been taking place. Everybody seems to want some championship gold as we get closer and closer to Paramount.
Hey, we're right there. We're on the cusp, and you know the Royal Brawl is really the first start of it all. And 3 titles on the line in tonight's show, so we shouldn't overlook that. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the commissioner has in mind.
Yzma, along with Kronk, very strong in the FWE Fairly Odd Partners Challenge. As a matter of fact, we're able to defeat the team of Kyle Matthews and Wonder Woman, the reason that Yzma has this title opportunity here tonight. But we also know that regardless of who ends up winning this match, we saw about a week ago, we saw Ariel defeat Ursula to become the #1 contender for the Women's Hardcore Championship. So, you know, whether Yzma or Wonder Woman end up walking out here tonight with the title, their work's not done. They still got somebody that's going to be waiting in the wings, and Wonder Woman has been a formidable force ever since winning the Hardcore title.
Feels like that's just always how it goes, though. You know, you win a title, you have a brief opportunity to celebrate, and then your next challenger is walking right down that ramp.
I've also been told that the Women's Hardcore title has undergone a design change.
Ooh.
And there you see it.
It's like a design change and a bit of a rename, too. We're calling that the Rotten to the Hardcore Championship, it sounds like.
Of course, a reference to Descendants, the green and purple for the main character Mal, played by Dove Cameron, and pretty cool looking design there. I mean, you kind of look at the former Women's Hardcore title, and it was kind of, I don't know, maybe a little bit more old school FWE back before it ended up going through all the different designs that we had with the other title belts. Of course, the Captain America United States Championship, the DC Comics Intercontinental Championship. So, in a little bit more keeping here with fantasy wrestling entertainment.
It sure is fitting.
Let's head down now to our ring announcer, Mike Rowe, for the announcement of the competitors.
Introducing the challenger from the internet, Yuri! And her opponent from Valhalla, the Women's Hardcore Champion, Wonder Woman!
And you heard it earlier, our ring announcer, Mike Rose, stating that this is a no-holds-barred match, which means anything goes. And more often than not, that doesn't always favor the champion. We'll have to see if Yzma, who is obviously very cunning, if she's going to be able to use that to her advantage, looking for her first championship belt here in FWE.
Such is the nature of the hardcore title. You know, these are how this title is often defended in these no hold barred, no DQ'd matchups. And have to see which of these competitors is able to use their brains more than their brawn.
And you have to think somewhere backstage, Ariel looking on, waiting to see who her future opponent is going to be. No word on exactly when she'll get the title shot. And Yzma showed a lot of deceptive power in the Fairly Odd Partners challenge, and showing it off here against the champion in the early going.
So far, a good start. That's her opponent in the air. Big drop to the back. Wonder Woman gonna roll out of the ring, but look out. Yzma gonna fly. Lands the elbow.
And you see that our referee, Ernest Wright, no 10 count with no holds barred. They can battle outside the ring as long as they want. Now, the pinfall does have to take place inside of the squared circle, but they can inflict as much punishment for as long as they want here outside of the ring.
I don't know if Wonder Woman got all of that elbow, but now she's bringing out the kendo stick. Doesn't quite get a chance to use it just yet.
Big
Up on her
slam
back
there.
again. There's a bit of a counter, though, by Yzma.
Wonder Woman, of course, a former Women's World Champion of the Galaxy. Held that title belt for a little less than 5 minutes before she was cashed in on by Elizabeth Swann, who herself is a former 2-time hardcore champion. Black Widow has held the title belt as well. And also Ariel, a former hardcore champion who would love to win that title belt back here in the near future.
She's got a pretty good opportunity if she were to have her title match at some point sooner down the line. She's going to have a pretty good opportunity to get that title back in the near future. Of course, the one thing when it comes to these type of matchups is that, you know, it takes so much out of the competitors. It kind of almost makes you wonder, maybe Ariel, as here comes a steel chair, Ariel probably wants to maybe have that matchup as soon as she possibly can, because whoever wins this one might not be 100%.
And to that point, might want to have this matchup go as long as possible, right? Because the quicker the matchup, the fresher your opponent's going to potentially be. You have this go for a long, long time. The effects of this matchup are going to last longer.
Yzma definitely is feeling those steel chair shots to the head, and now Wonder Woman going to get her back inside the ring. Could maybe be looking for a cover here.
Hit a Dominator on the outside, and Yzma down and out. Wonder Woman in for the cover to retain the title. Ooh, and Yzma just going to skip out at a 2 and maybe 3/4.
It was almost the quick matchup that you mentioned.
Uh-oh.
Look out.
Looking for the Amazon Slam. That could be it. Cover is in to retain the title. Wonder Woman will put Yzma away. It looks like we're going to maybe run it back here with Wonder Woman versus Ariel for that hardcore championship at some point.
To your point, a very quick fight too, so she's going to be pretty fresh from that rematch against Ariel whenever it comes.
First of 3 title matchups here tonight, but up next we set a #1 contendership for the women's tag team titles.
Whispers through the crowd, all the chaos in the royal brawl.
We welcome you back here to FWE. As we understand, next week the Women's Disney Tag Team Championships on the women's side will be defended, but we are now determining who the #1 contender team is going to be in a fatal 4-way match.
Kind of an interesting situation here. 4 different participants here, all I believe on different teams. Only 1 participant for each team that's going to decide who the #1 contender is in a tag team title matchup.
Very unique, as you stated, because, you know, normally in a tag team matchup, you're relying on having that other person in your corner, having your back. Now, kind of, you're determining the fate of yourself and your tag team partner as to whether or not you're even going to be in the title picture next week. We see Rapunzel already in the ring. Of course, she is going to be teaming with Belle. And looks like we've got a former tag team champion making their way out here.
Representing the corporation from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, Velvet Dizzy.
Of course, out of Mystery Incorporated, Velma Dinkley, her tag team partner Daphne, former women's tag team champions. Current women's tag team title holders. Team Let It Go, Anna and Elsa. Yeah, I think they're going to be very interested in this matchup, see who their opponents will be for next week.
I'm wondering about your point earlier. You know, I bet it's something that's going to be on the minds of these competitors and the ones not competing in this matchup is, did they make the right decision as to who is participating in this matchup?
Has a fantastic point is Kim Possible, another former tag team champion, be representing herself and Shigo. Yeah, I mean, how do you arrive at that kind of a decision? Is it basically you kind of maybe look at the stats, look at the history against you know, whoever the other opponents may be, or do you just maybe just randomize it with a rock, paper, scissors or something like that? Like, how in the world do you decide? Because you obviously don't want to have yourself named as the strong link of the team and you know, say to the other one, well, you know, I feel like our best opportunity lies with you. I don't know how exactly you would arrive at a decision like that.
I don't either, and you know, I almost fear a situation like what we just recently witnessed on the men's side with Vicious and Delicious, no longer really a tag team, because we saw, you know, Nick Gunther was kind of a weak link of that team, and we saw what happened to RJ Bishop, and I fear he may have lost his mind.
I won't argue with you on that point. RJ is he has definitely entered into a different realm, so to speak, as maybe the wild card team in all of this. We mentioned about the fact that Kim Possible and Shigo, former tag team champions, same for Mystery Incorporated with Daphne and Velma. Rapunzel and Belle, they've been in the tag team picture before, but Kita representing the newly formed team of herself and Esmeralda. You know, if there's one team that I think Team Let It Go would maybe find themselves not as prepared for, it may be this newly formed team.
Very well could be. You know, the newer teams, there's not really much of a playbook on them, so the champions don't really have a whole lot to work with, but they can maybe gain at least a little bit of experience out of it as to tonight.
And I have been informed here as well. Fatal 4-way rules, there are no countouts, there are no disqualifications in this type of a matchup, but I have been told that the other 4 participants of each of these respective tag teams have been banned from ringside. It has to come down to only these 4 participants.
It's a smart decision by the FWE officials, making sure that they settle it amongst themselves. If any tag team partner showed up in the middle of a fatal 4-way like this, all hell could break loose.
Gotta have your head on a swivel here. First pinfall, first submission. And you and your tag team partner, the new #1 contenders for the women's tag team titles, defended next week in the go-home show for FWE Royal Brawl.
Of course, that means that there's going to be a lot of rushing to break up pins and submissions. You have to kind of incapacitate 2 of your other competitors before getting the 3rd one down and in position for the pin or submission.
We have an arm breaker there by Velma, looking to lock in an armbar. Kim Possible taking it here to Kita. Of course, this is the #1 contendership for the women's tag team titles later on tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm being told immediately following this matchup, the men's tag team titles on the line. Anthony McCurry and Cole Eastwood of the family finally cashing in on that title opportunity this evening as they will take on the team of Kronk and Cusco.
That should be a really interesting matchup. More on that one in a little bit, though.
German suplex there by Kita. Follows up with a clothesline, and Kim might have landed on that steel chair that was introduced into the ring. Meanwhile, cover in here by Velma on Rapunzel, not even going to get a 1 count.
I'm not even sure if the other competitors were paying attention to that. That's a
what
big
in the
kick
world
to the
is
back.
Velma going for her?
Oh.
Oh, wow!
I don't even know what you call that move, but that was impressive.
It was some type of a suplex, but utilizing the middle rope. Shot right to the gut there by Kim Possible. Hurricane Rana here by Rapunzel. And this is the problems of the Fatal 4-Way, right? You can feel that you are in control, and all of a sudden somebody blindsides you from out of nowhere.
That's just what happens when there's 3 other people in the ring. Like I said earlier, it's going to be really difficult to try to incapacitate 2 of them while you go for a pin or submission. Look at all this madness in the corner.
It's just a mosh pit right now. Swing at anything that moves. Oh, side Russian leg sweep there by Velma. Rapunzel, what is she looking for here? Might be, well, I think she was considering maybe going for the top rope springboard arm drag, but I don't know if Kita blocked it or if Rapunzel kind of second-guessed herself.
You take what you can get. Impossible could be trying to look under the weapon here. Under the ring for some weapons.
There's not the kendo stick. It's a German suplex there by Velma. Oh, right into the gut there of Kita in the corner. And now maybe looking for the small package suplex. Cover is in, shoulders are down. Velma looking to be the #1 contender, and kick out at 1.
Velma, there was a kendo stick laying right underneath her when she went for that pin. Not really sure if she got all the leverage she wanted to.
Oh, wow, nice full Nelson suplex there by Velma.
She retains momentum, too.
Very technical.
She did a good job of staying focused, keeping an eye out for that blindside attack from Kita. Look out here. Oh, Kim Possible able to get out of it.
Chop block there to Velma. Oh, spin kick. Lights out for Velma
Rapunzel had the
Dinkley.
kendo stick.
And now everyone's down except Rapunzel. Golden opportunity here for the member of the Queens.
Kendo stick and hand dealing all kinds of
Gosh!
damage. My goodness. Just throwing it around. Worried if we might have to end up ducking something again.
No, we've ducked a number of things here the last couple of weeks, so I wouldn't be surprised. I start wearing a helmet to ringside or something.
Might as well. Now, Kita's got a steel chair.
And again, all this taking place on the outside of the ring, which, you know, could actually be favorable for one of these 4 women if they're able to gain the advantage. You got most of your opponents on the outside, and you alluded to that's usually the kind of strategy you want to adopt in a Fatal 4-Way. Eliminate everybody else out of the conversation, make it a 1v1.
Have to be careful and understand the timing. Like this right now from Kim Possible. He gets into the ring with Rapunzel one-on-one. Rapunzel, though,
Hits the pop rocks on Kim Possible, does Rapunzel. Surprised she didn't try to go for a cover there. Uh-oh.
oh no. Oh, I don't know if she was thinking superplex or what, but Kim Possible able to reverse the momentum. Go for something quickly here for Kim.
Back elbow to the gut. Flatliner. Might be looking. Yes, gonna lock in the code of silence. Is Kim Possible gonna tap out? Oh, Kita was there to break it up.
Good awareness by Kita there.
Oh, wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Now, Kita gonna do it herself. Says, hey, that's a great idea. She'll lock in the submission, and Kim Possible breaks it up.
She got up in time to recover. You know, the momentum swings in these type of matches. Instantly reverses that attack, and now
look
goes
at
for the
this.
cover on Rapunzel.
Tried to sidestep Kita. Sneak one out there, wasn't able to do it. Oh, now submission locked in. The disarmer locked in on Kita by Velma.
Both competitors were getting up, though. That's the tricky part about going for a submission. It takes a little bit longer to have success with a submission than it does a pinfall.
Oh, big slam. Locks in an Anaconda Vice. Another submission locked in here by Kita to Velma. Kim trying to break it up.
I don't know how she's not.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And I'm not sure if, I think Kita released the hold.
Oh, Rapunzel, you better look out behind you.
Oh!
Well, she didn't. It was too late.
Cover in
touches the
here.
ring.
Kita with the cover on Velma. Nobody in sight. And that could have very well been it, but Velma able to get that left shoulder up. I don't know how.
And these competitors have been through a lot. We thought the hardcore title match earlier was crazy.
Might be looking maybe for another submission. Trying to roll Velma over. Got the Boston Crab locked in. Is Velma gonna tap?
You let go of it again.
Oh, look at this!
Oh,
Look at this! Trying to steal the pin! Right in front of Kita!
Kita was busy taunting the crowd, taunting her opponent. Didn't even realize that Rapunzel was going for a pin there. Now Rapunzel gets dropped into the corner of the top right turnbuckle.
Again, remember, folks, this is a fatal four-way to determine the #1 contendership for the women's tag team titles. That's what's on the line here. There's no title on the line. You would think there was, though, with what we've seen here currently. It's a big shot there, big kick. I'm not sure if that was the foot or the shin to the forehead of Velma. Another big knee lift right there.
Championship gold does not come often, and when you have a chance to establish yourself and your tag partner, in this case, as #1 contenders, you got to take that chance.
And as we documented, cover in here. Kim Possible was down, looked like she might have been out. Velma able to break that up, and now waistlock takedown. Outside of the ring, Celine Del Sol by Rapunzel to Kim.
Rapunzel better pay attention, though, to what's going on in the middle of the ring. She's got to get in there.
Velma, maybe looking for that suplex again.
Yep.
At the whiplash, just the quickness of the whiplashes. Gosh.
The back of your head being dropped onto the ring so quick. Here comes another submission.
Code of silence. Code of silence locked in on Rapunzel. Is Rapunzel going to tap? Is there anyone there? No. Okay, so Velma was over there on the far side with Kim. If Rapunzel had tapped, that was going to be it. There was no one that was going to save her.
Okay, Rapunzel managed to fight her way out of it. Now he's cover.
Cover in. Kim Possible had to run around Ernest right to break that up just before 3.
Just had to get around the referee to break that one up, but she did so just in the nick of time.
Look at the
But now
shots
she's
there.
eating a bunch of forearms and elbows to the face, on the shoulders.
Oh! Taking down, might be trying to go into the Rings of Saturn. Rings of Saturn locked in. I think Kim might have actually been able to slip out of that.
Rapunzel didn't get all of the attack that she was going for. Another submission.
Code of silence again, and to your point, really surprising that a lot of these women are going for the submissions, knowing the amount of time it's going to take. Another submission here. Another code of silence.
Everybody else is down.
Yes, Kim is down the outside. Velma is down in the corner. Is Kita gonna tap out? She is!
Oh my goodness.
Rapunzel and Belle are the new #1 contenders. What a fight!
That was a war. But the timing was perfectly for Rapunzel. She waited until both of her competitors were down before she went for the pin and the submission.
Well, Rapunzel and Belle, they've never held the tag team titles. They get a chance next week. As up next, more tag team title action.
Whispers through the crowd, load of chaos in a royal brawl.
Well, welcome back to FWE as we get ready for men's tag team action. The titles on the line. The cash-in takes place as Anthony McCurry and Cole Eastwood of the family, off the heels of what we saw, their victory at FWE Infinity War Games, guaranteed a tag team title opportunity whenever they want it. They have to give the 1 week advance notice. Tonight is the chance, but Jack, you gotta think, they went through war at Infinity War Games against the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They came out victorious. What happens if we do not cash in successfully tonight if you're the family?
I fear the worst, honestly, but I also wonder the most about what happens between these two specific members, because after Infinity War Games, they had a tag team match against Joker and the Penguin because they had a bit of redemption on that side. And there was a bit of a discord among the family members in that matchup because, specifically these two as well, Anthony McCreary did not tag Cole Eastwood in once during that matchup, and they ended up losing. So I almost wonder, maybe are they thinking about that a little bit tonight as they head into this matchup with the tag team titles on the line?
It's a fantastic point, and we'll have to see if there is indeed any fallout from something like that. You know, the chemistry was definitely on par at Infinity War Games, and maybe they just have to kind of tap into something like that. As Kronk and Kusko, the current holders of the tag team titles. Of course, Kusko for a time was a double champion. Formerly held the title belt that you currently got here with us at ringside, that Wayfinder Cruiser champion. And you got to think that for Kusko and Kronk, they know what's at stake here. They were given the warning ahead of time that they were going to defend the titles here tonight. But you know that with letting one title belt slip away, Kusko is going to be none too anxious to let another one slip through his fingers.
I hope he's not going to be staring me down during this matchup.
Is a tag team match set for one fall, and is for the Men's Superstars Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 380 pounds, the Family, and their opponents at a combined weight of 389 pounds, the Men's Superstars Tag Team Champions, Too Cool.
Well, we've got new #1 contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championships. That'll be next Thursday night in the go-home show for FWE Royal Brawl. Tonight, men's tag team titles on the line. And, you know, if you look at a team in terms of momentum, the momentum pendulum does kind of shift into the corner of the Family. The main reason being, this past Saturday night on FWE Extra, Cole Eastwood defeated Kusko in a one-on-one matchup. I guess for a little bit of bragging rights. So that's got to be something that's got to be in the back of the mind of the current champions as well.
That's going to help Cole's mind out as well. You know, I talked about the discourse between these two members, but I think they are still making a good decision starting this matchup with McCreary in the ring. He was kind of a workhorse in that War Games match. And there's a tag. So every point that I made earlier goes out the window. It looks like they managed to finally get on the same page.
We'll see if it helps them to get Tag Team Championship gold. Both individuals looking for their first title belt here in FWE, whether it be tag or singles. As Cole Eastwood with a nice drop kick there. And of course, the Family starting to make preparations here, if you will, to try and take as much of the gold here in FWE as possible. We, of course, know that Michael Norman, he is going to be the challenger for the Men's World Championship. He's going to be going up against the winner of our main event here tonight, whether it be Dylan Young or the current champion, King Candy, at Royal Brawl. And we're still kind of awaiting what the plans are going to be here for Matt McIntyre. He, of course, has a guaranteed United States Championship title match at some point.
Family like to keep us in suspense for sure, as I think there's a submission in, but a bit of a jawbreaker stunner there by Kronk to get out of it.
And might be looking for an Alabama slam.
Oh,
The power of Kronk, undeniable. Certainly not the brains of the tag team, but he can certainly bring the brawn.
I feel like you need a little bit of both, and, you know, it obviously helps if you have both the brains and the brawn, but
Little ego doesn't hurt either. I think Kusko covers those bases.
for sure. You want to talk about ego, just ask about Gaston.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Kronk gets dropped though, and back in the match comes Cole Eastwood.
And here we go. We're going to run it back from FWE Extra from last Saturday. Eastwood and Kusko.
Oh,
Shot to the gut turns Cole inside out.
he's gonna go flying upside down like that. Oh, he's working on the arm. Don't believe this is a submission attempt, rather just trying to wear out the arm a little bit. Now he's trying to incapacitate Anthony McCreary.
I was begging for Cole Eastwood to hit him with something. Cole obliges with a drop kick in the corner. Be careful what you wish for. Of course, champion's advantage here to Cusco and Kronk. That's something the challengers have to be aware of as well. They can't win the title on a counter or disqualification. And we know that they've been more than willing to have the underhand tactics in the past.
We've seen, but interestingly enough, we've seen some of those underhand tactics with Matt McIntyre ringside. He's nowhere to be found tonight.
Great point. No sign of the leader either, Michael Norman. But you got to think he's going to have a vested interest in the main event here tonight as Kronk trying to dispose maybe of Cole Eastwood here.
Oh, man.
Back body drop on the apron, hardest part of the ring, and Anthony McCreary follows with a clothesline. But there you see it, referee with the count. This is more important if you're the challengers than the champions. The champions, you don't care if it's a count out, you're still going to keep the title belts.
Absolutely. You know, you want to prolong that ringside interaction if you're the champion, but if you're the challenger, make sure that your opponent gets inside the ring quickly enough.
Face buster by McCrory, and now Hurricane Rana there by Cole Eastwood after the tag in. And Cole
Seen a
might
fair
be
mix of
going
both
up
competitors.
top.
Cole going up top.
Oh!
Oh, jeez.
Big leg drop there right across the chest of Kronk, and Cusco felt the end was near there, felt the title slipping, breaks it up.
And McCreary got in the ring to try to get him out of the way. Look out, though.
Uh-oh. I think Cole might have been thinking about the blade cutter. Kronk realized he was in trouble.
Oh, man, the momentum going back and forth. They're reversing each other's moves like crazy. Springboard off the bottom rope.
Cover in. Will the tag team titles change hands? The family, they've done it.
Oh, my goodness.
Here are your winners,
Cash in successful. First title belts by the faction known as the Family. Cole Eastwood and Anthony McCreary will head into Royal Brawl, the new Men's Disney Tag Team Champions.
I don't know who can stop them at this point. They continue to assert their dominance.
Up next, another title belt on the line in our main event here this evening.
Whispers through the crowd, all the chaos in the Royal Brawl.
is scheduled for one fall and is for the Men's World Championship.
Getting ready for our main event here tonight. Again, just a few short weeks away from FWE Royal Brawl, and this matchup is going to pretty much determine who is going to defend the title belt against Michael Norman at the upcoming PLE. The rematch here from Infinity War Games as Dylan Young looks to get the title belt back. And Jack, remember, it was just last week Dylan Young ended up defeating King Candy in a non-title match, which means now if Dylan does win the title, King Candy's title rematch, his champions rematch, if you will, is null and void.
It is, and you know that can be a bit of a. It can stick in his mind a little bit during this matchup. You know, if you lose this title, you don't get a rematch right away. You have to go ahead and earn it. I mean, the opportunity to earn it is there at the Royal Brawl, but it kind of makes you wonder. Of course, obviously, all the eyes of the FWE universe are on the matchup when the Pride Wizard World title is on the line, but in this case, even more so because with the Royal Brawl only a few short weeks away, new number one contenders will be determined there at that matchup. You know, obviously, Michael Norman going to get his matchup at the Royal Brawl, but then after that, on the road to Paramount, you know, that's when the winners of the Royal Brawl will have something to say about it.
No, no.
And I don't want to take anything away from King Candy. An incredible matchup with Dylan Young, almost a one-sided matchup against the former champion back at Infinity War Games. But I think a lot of people on paper didn't give King Candy that much of an opportunity there in thinking that he was going to be a favorite going into that matchup. He proved all of them wrong. The question is, though, with the victory Dylan Young had over him last week, does that hang in the back of the mind here of King Candy, or does he maybe perform at his best when the title is hanging in the balance?
I guess we're going to find out. I mean, the only real way to find out is to see what happens when the bell rings. So we'll see what his mindset is like here going into this one. We'll throw it down to Mike Rome.
Introducing the challenger from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 220 pounds, Dylan Young! And his opponent from the internet, weighing in at 100 pounds, the men's world champion, King Candyman!
Dylan Young looking to continue to make history here in FWE, the only multiple-time Tri-Wizard champion, as he was the inaugural champion, lost the title belt to Shaggy Rogers, won it back the following week, and then, of course, lost the title belt to King Candy, as we documented back in Infinity War Games. So if he's successful tonight, he would be a three-time Tri-Wizard champion. King Candy, of course, trying to keep this title reign going here, both looking to be the defender of the title belt at the upcoming PLE at Royal Brawl. But you gotta wonder here, Jack, you know that if you end up leaving tonight with the title belt, you've got Michael Norman waiting in the wings, and we've already seen here tonight this arena still buzzing from the fact that Anthony McCreary and Cole Eastwood now are the holders of the tag team titles, so the momentum is certainly in the corner of the family, and you gotta think that just was a major confidence booster for Michael Norman with that guaranteed title shot in a couple weeks.
Has to be. Wherever he's watching from, I'm sure he's very excited about that. He's got all the momentum on the side of his faction, as King Candy's arm not in a great spot there, but yeah, you know, the winner of this matchup, they've not only got Michael Norman waiting in the wings, but they've got the winner of the Royal Brawl matchup as well, so a lot on the mind, but that's the business of being a champion.
Incredible night here. We saw Wonder Woman successfully defend the now new FWE Women's Rotten to the Hardcore Championship title belt against Yzma. Rapunzel and Belle, now the new #1 contenders for the women's tag team titles. Those will be on the line next week. We just mentioned about Anthony and Cole, now the new men's tag team title holders, and we await the result of this, our Tri-Wizard Championship matchup here tonight. A lot already in store in our go-home show next week in preparation for FWE Royal Brawl. We've got the women's tag team titles will be on the line. Wonder Woman going to defend the hardcore title now against Ariel, I'm being told, who was the #1 contender for that title belt. And of course, as well, we await to hear what the FWE commissioner has in response to what you had addressed earlier on here tonight in that promo to open up the show. So a lot of stuff, a lot of housekeeping, if you will, in preparation for the upcoming PLE next week in the go-home show.
Kind of already feels like we're on the road to Paramount now.
Doesn't
it's a bumpy road.
Action spills to the outside here. Nice reversal by King Candy with a reverse DDT. Again, champion's advantage here for King Candy as referee Ernest Wright already up to a 3 count.
They're going to both get back in the ring, though. And if you're King Candy, you're fine with those ringside interactions going as long as possible. There's a count out you retain.
Oh, was going for a chop block there. Very little effect to Dylan Young.
He got a bit lucky there. He was distracted. Was he hyping up the audience a little bit? But you don't want to do that, especially in a matchup with these kind of circumstances. As King Candy's smart to break the ropes there, but yeah. Dylan, you know, if you lose this matchup tonight, you don't get your rematch. You'd have to work your way through the Royal Brawl, I think, is the earliest opportunity you have. Right as I say that, there's the advertisement. August 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, the Royal Brawl will determine our 2 guaranteed title matchups for FWE Paramount.
You know, that's a great point you just brought up. I didn't even think of that. The fact of, you know, if if King Candy, who we know is not going to get a title rematch if he loses, Dylan Young having to work his way from the back of the line, we'd certainly have to think that either one of these individuals, whoever's on the losing end of this title match, that they would try and find some way to get themselves into that 30-man field in the Royal Rumble in order to get back into the title picture. So, yeah, great point there. I never even thought about that. That'd be another avenue that they could potentially use to maybe jump the line once again.
I don't know how King Candy got away with taking that turnbuckle pad off, but
Well, he hasn't used it.
he's going to get knocked to the ground there. Counts at 6, but I think it just got reset with Dylan going to the outside.
Nice arm drag there by King Candy. And yeah, I mean, you got to think that referee Ernest Wright at some point would try and put that pad back on that exposed turnbuckle. King Candy did indeed take the pad off, but he didn't use the turnbuckle as a weapon, which is why I think referee Ernest Wright didn't call for any type of a disqualification there. You don't want a title match to end on a DQ, and the referees know that just as much as anybody.
Absolutely, but maybe sometimes the competitors do. Maybe they'd be fine with breaking a few rules here if it meant that they retained their title.
Candy might be looking for a suplex here. Small package suplex. Cover is in. Dylan's legs are grapevine. Oh, and somehow he's able to kick out. That is so difficult because you're literally completely, I don't even really know how to describe it, but you're in a sense, there's no wiggle room really. You have to rely on that inner core strength to be able to power out of something like that.
Just the sheer determination of Dylan Young. But that's a stomp to the back shoulder by King Candy.
And now looking, nice swinging neck breaker there by King Candy. Cover is in to retain the title and defend it at Royal Brawl. And Dylan going to kick out at 2. Whoa. Roll up. Dylan to sneak away with the title and a kick out at 1.
Man, that was an impressive roll up by Dylan. Oh, but he gets dropped with a knee. And now the submission could be locked in here, potentially.
Just wrenches the
mind.
arm. Oh my gosh.
His arm almost got ripped off there.
And now going for the crossface. Crossface locked in. This is how King Candy became the #1 contender for the title. Is Dylan going to tap?
Rope. Broken up, though. The hold was released. But King Candy has not stopped going to the work on his arm there. Dylan's arms have to be on fire right about now.
Challenger is definitely in trouble. The champion in control. And now King Candy. And now look at this. Drop kick. Dylan falls to the outside. And the referee, King Candy, can maybe utilize this to his advantage as referee Ernest Wright now trying to reattach that turnbuckle pad.
It's like he was able to do it before anyone tried anything fishy. Good news is that means we get a clean fight.
Dylan whipped into the corner.
Here. Oh, it got broken up.
And now Dylan is looking maybe for a sharpshooter here. Instead might be looking for a stomp.
Oh, yeah. Now
looking
taking
maybe for the
advantage
cover to win the title. And a kick out at 2. Dylan could taste it. He could taste three-time champ.
Felt like we had the title change right there.
Massive European uppercut. And now Dylan heading to the top. Might be looking for that patented Swanton Bomb to be a 3-time champion, to defend the title at Royal Brawl. And Dylan Young has done it.
He did it. Dylan Young in the clutch.
Here is your winner, and new Men's World Champion, Dylan Young.
Well, cast your memory back to Sugar Rush. Dylan Young was the first one that was targeted by the family after a successful title defense. He gets Michael Norman at Royal Brawl for the Tri-Wizard Championship. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you in the Go Home Show next week.